I don't care. You have to build this STI hatchback that you unveiled at the Tokyo or Japan Mobility Show. This is just such a cool design. And the original, I think from 2008, the STI WRX hatchback is still one of the best looking Subarus ever made. And I think this is also just a modernized version of that one. I love what's going on here. I definitely want to see this be built. And the cool thing here is if you look at the interior, if you look at all the details of this, it actually looks like it's, close to production ready. I don't see anything that looks too conceptual about this design. And if they put it in production, you also, of course, have to bring it over here to the States because I want the STI hatchback to come back. It was such a cool design. Now we only have the new boring Impreza WRX, which I'm not a huge fan of the current one that we have right now. This is way, way better than that. We're going to have a look at the design because they also dropped an EV version of this. They couldn't really decide if they want to go electric or gas, so they built the both and showed off both. And they have completely different design languages. Gonna show you both of these in Photoshop, compare the front, side, and rear of all of these, and go into detail about this design and why I love this hatchback. The original still looks so good. Such a cool design. So before we do that, let's check out this article and see what this is all about from Car Scoops. Linked down below. Subaru STI can't decide if it wants to go gas or electric, so it built both. Why not? The aggressive concepts hints at a shift in Subaru's performance strategy and are joined by rugged versions of production models. So it's essentially, I don't know which one. Is it Crosstrek maybe that they base this on? I'm not entirely sure which one. Maybe they have a hatchback internationally, just not here that they base this on. It looks very, very cool. So you have the Performance E and the Performance B concept. The E concept is fully electric model described as spearheading Subaru's new generation, hinting that it could evolve into a future production car. Would be nice to see that, but I'm not that excited about the electric version here. Not just because it's an EV, but also the design is not as cool as the gas-powered one that we have. So the concept features sharp body surfacing, bold LED headlights, and large bumper intakes. You can see right here, looking pretty cool with a silhouette that leans towards a sporty estate. So it's not really like the traditional hatchback designs. It's more like a shooting brake, but we do have 4 doors here, as you can see. Look at the wings in the back. It's not a complete wing. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I feel in the rear end, it feels like it's missing a big wing here. It would look so good just planting a wing in the park bench back there. You can see the wings here up in the corners of the roof. It looks pretty cool. A new take on, I guess, wings. You have the F1 brake light down here. Subaru illuminated. Thankfully, they didn't go with a full light bar. One car in 2025, that one concept that does not have light bars. I'm very appreciative of that. And then we have these very cool looking wheels. I've never seen wheels like this. It reminds me of old rally wheels in a new form. Looking very aggressive, especially with the gold or the bronze outline here, or the I don't know what this is, but it looks very, very cool and unique for sure. And by the way, check out these chamfers that we have going on here. Beautiful chamfer going into this section in the lower area. Now this one, compared to the gas version, this one definitely looks way more conceptual than the gas-powered one. So the sloping roofline leads to a ducktail spoiler with 2 fins instead of a conventional rear wing, and a large diffuser with an F1 style brake light. Another cool touch is the gold finished aero covers. That's what they are, obviously, aero covers on the wheels. They say that the interior is driver-friendly layout and a comfortable, spacious interior. I have a feeling it's going to be full of screens. That's just what I could guess. If I had to guess, it's probably a lot of screens. We don't have any interior pictures of this. The electric version, I don't think. So you got various innovative technologies for intuitive, exhilarating driving experiences. Floor-mounted battery, front and rear electric motors. Obviously, you do have all-wheel drive. It is a Subaru after all. So the second version here is the BSTI concepts. Sticks with the internal combustion engine power. Love it. You also have a manual gearbox. Great. The design looks sick. Manual gearbox, and it has an internal combustion engine under the hood. It could evolve into a production offering. I actually think they are going to drop this as a production version because, as I said, it doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't they drop this? It's completely ready for production, and the body lines, it looks so good because the body lines, the wide fenders are almost exactly the same style as we had on the original one. So the hot hatch looks like a high-performance version of the current Impreza 5-door hatchback, elevated to STI glory. Wide fenders, integrated vents, a hood scoop, redesigned bumpers, larger intakes, wider grille with a red stripe. There is also a massive rear wing. That is, of course, what we want to have on STIs. I think it looks so much better with a proper wing here. You got a Boxster engine paired with Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Such a model would recall the third generation WRX STI from 2008, like we talked about, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But look at this thing. I mean, this wing, some might say it's a little bit oversized. I don't think so. This is what we want to see on cars like this. Very messy in this area, but in this case, this being a sort of a rally hatchback, it's not supposed to be a traditionally beautiful looking vehicle. It's supposed to look like a rally car with all these pieces and vents and wide fenders, big park bench up top. Exactly like I want to see. I mean, look at the plantedness of this with these things sticking out here. You have these exhaust pipes here, and this is, I'm not really sure about these exhaust pipes. Diffuser looks good, but the pipes look so tiny. They're way, way too small. What I have them be much bigger than that. Bazooka pipes in the rear. Come on, Subaru. Nice looking wheels though, and the front end with this integrated wider fender looks very, very nice as well. Red stripe around the grille, and you have the intake up top, hood vent up top. Proud of Boxster, it says. So it still has, of course, a Boxster 4-cylinder engine. Wheels look sick. Wing looks amazing. The rear end looks pretty cool as well. This is the only portion of the rear end that I'm not so sure about. There's a slight curvature right here that does not follow this curvature right here. And it clashes a lot. And it sticks up a little bit too much for my taste. I would want to just cut it right in this area, somewhere like that. Well, it's just small details. As I said, we don't know if these are going into production, but I highly doubt Subaru will not put at least the gas-powered version into production. Then we had some more concepts here. Actually, I don't think this is a concept. This is probably a production vehicle, but they're not that interesting. I mean, it's a wilderness. Looks pretty robotic in the front end. Pretty cool design, I would say. So let's jump in Photoshop here and to the fun stuff. Let's talk about the fun stuff here, the design of these vehicles. Now, the original 2008 STI hatchback, by far one of my favorite hatchbacks ever made. I still think it looks so cool. It looks like a rally car for the road. Beautiful looking lines here. I've always loved these fluid, organic looking headlights and how it sits within this mask, connecting clearly to the grille right here, looking beautiful. In this area as well, we have a clear separation of the bumper and some classic intakes where you have two small intakes on the side, one bigger intake right here in the middle, and of course, same on the other side. Integrated fog lights in the front end, and last but not least, for the front, the big hood scoop up top, in addition to this beautiful wide fenders. If I had this in blue, I would 100% put the Subaru decals right here, the golden decals on this vehicle to make it a proper rally car. The wheels as well, they look very, very nice. I would not switch out these wheels because I've always been a fan of them. And of course, they are gray. Now, looking at the new one here, this looks like a properly designed refresh or modernization of the old one. Love what's going on here. Extremely aggressive styling. We still have the connection here to the headlight unit going into the grille. You can see it right here. It connects right in this area. So we still have this mask design for the front end, and also intact is also the separation of the bumper. So we have a bumper separating the top half graphics and the lower half graphics. And in addition to that, we still also have the traditional layout of one big intake in the middle and two smaller ones on the sides right here, creating this classic look that I love to see. We have some heat extractors. I guess these are up top on the hood, in addition to this massive vent that sucks in a lot of air to this Boxster, probably a 4-cylinder, I would assume it is. And I also like that it's blacked out. So we have this contrast with the blue and the black, in addition to, of course, the daytime lights being typical Subaru daytime run lights that I think looks very, very good, because we have a thin piece right here going into a little bit of a thicker piece here, creating a nice dynamic movement. And you know that I like to see that in LEDs. Now, looking at the side view, probably the coolest angle for both of these vehicles, because as I said, what makes the STI so special, the hatchback, is that they added these beautiful fenders and a wider body that still feels extremely well integrated in the overall design. Look at how nicely this flows into the front end, and then we have the hood scoop sticking up just a little bit, and we have these vents on the side as well. We have it sitting properly on the ground, nice looking. I do believe this was probably 17-inch wheels or something like that. I don't want to have bigger wheels on this one because it's supposed to be a rally car. You still need a lot of rubber around the wheel itself, or the rim. And we have the beautiful looking hatchback greenhouse dipping down with a small little spoiler up top, which is totally fine. Nice looking shoulder line that connects to the corner of the taillight right there. And then we have this line in the lower section. And looking at the new one here, you can see the styling of the integrated wide fenders are almost intact in the same way in the new one. I would say it's even more aggressive in the new one, because here, not only do we have the park bench in the back, this absolutely ridiculously massive wing that I don't want to change. I don't want to make it smaller or anything, because I want this, again, to be an extreme rally car for the roads. But look at the styling for the fenders. We still have this line here dipping down. We have a nice, beautiful sculpted body line in this area. Shoulder line is intact as well, going into the greenhouse, the belt line right there. We have a little bit of a cut. You can see tiny little line connecting right there to the taillights. And of course, the front end looks beautiful with these massive fenders right here as well. Same vents in the same position. And this is a little bit more organic, I would say, than the original one, because we have more fluid lines in this one, I feel. It's a very, very cool design. I also like that in the lower section, we have the black graphics hugging this car to the road from the front end through the side, in the side skirt right here, and then of course going up in this massive diffuser. But you can see, this is the problem I had with this when we looked at the article. It's not a big problem, but it was just that if you look at all the other graphics in the front, it doesn't stick up. It sticks up to this point. The side view sticks up to this point with the black graphics, and then it just shoots right up to this height. So this is the reason why I want to lower this and have it be cut off in this area, something like that. But it's a beautiful hatchback proportions. We definitely need more hatchbacks, specifically here in the States. Get rid of all these crossover SUVs. Let's bring in some fun wagons, some fun sedans, some fun rally hatchbacks as well. And let's just, diversify the cars we see on the roads. It's too many crossover and SUVs right now, and also boring EVs all over the roads. Now, looking at the rear end, look how clean this is. And I want to bring your attention to this area. This is where you can see that this Subaru has definitely went to the gym for sure, because this is seriously plantedness going on with this wide fender that creates this big muscle over the rear axle, rear wheels, properly planting this vehicle on the road. I actually really like these wheels as well that we have here, because these are definitely rally inspired. The white wheels with the blue exterior looking beautiful. And I also loved that we have the quad exhaust pipes for this. This is the integration I want to see on the new one as well. Small little wing in the back, the clean graphics of the taillight unit here as well. And we have a proper separation, bumper separation right there. Looking at the new one again, proper modernization of the original one for sure. We have the big wing up top. Just look at how high this sticks up above the roofline of the car. It looks so cool. The only thing I would like to change here, look at the pipes. I would 100% prefer to still have 4 big bazooka pipes like this, like we had in the original. It would look so much better on this, because these pipes are the only big disappointment with this design. They look way too small, but other than that, we have some nice styling in the back with a typical Subaru Crosstrek. I'm probably wrong with that. It's probably not based on a Crosstrek. I don't think so. Some model that we don't have here in the States, a hatchback. But you can clearly tell that this is still a Subaru, of course. STI badge right here, and we have a nice, beautiful, solid-looking bumper with the diffuser sticking up in the lower section. You can see this curvature that I talked about here. We have a small little curvature in this area, which looks pretty strange. It almost looks like maybe a little melted cheese coming back here. Melted 90s design for this version. And we have this black piece sticking up very high. I do like this shelf that we have in the lower section. And of course the black side skirt in the side looking absolutely beautiful. Now last but not least, we do have the interior picture. This up top is from Road and Track. That was pretty much the only good interior picture I managed to find for this vehicle. But as you can see, we have the beautiful thing right here, which is a manual gearbox for the, this is actually, I switched them up. So this is the old one, obviously. This is the new one up top. Beautiful looking steering wheel as well. And we have everything we need. Start button right here and a small little screen here. I'm not a fan of Subaru screens because they feel too plasticky. But in this case, I don't care because I'm not going to look at the screen when I'm driving this. And the old interior was also an absolutely fantastic place to sit in. Extremely cozy. I don't care that we have a lot of plastic and cheap materials in here. It doesn't matter because this is all about this area right here, the manual transmission and the way it feels when you're driving this vehicle, the turbo noises and all of that. So this is a vehicle that I really, I mean, usually, yes, I say I want to see cars go into production, loosely sometimes, but in this case, I really want this to go into production, and it feels like Subaru really doesn't need to do a lot of changes to the concept, because look at the interior, it's already production ready. Just start building this, and I'm sure people are going to buy this in huge numbers, because I think a lot of car enthusiasts, we miss these smaller cars that were still high performance vehicles. Now everything needs to be so big, and we need to shrink them down and bring these type of vehicles back.